The magic of Crystal Lake. In the picturesque village of Rivertown, surrounded by verdant hills and dense forests, there was a beautiful lake called Crystal Lake. The lake was named for its crystal-clear waters that sparkled in the sunlight and mirrored the blue sky above. The villagers revered Crystal Lake, believing it to have magical properties that brought prosperity and happiness to their community. Among the villagers was a young girl named Clara. Clara lived with her family in a cozy cottage near the edge of the lake. She loved spending her days by the water, watching the fish swim and the birds fly overhead. Her favorite pastime was to sit on the shore and dip her feet into the cool, refreshing water, feeling a deep sense of peace and connection to the lake. One summer, a terrible drought struck Rivertown. The rains stopped, and the fields and gardens withered under the relentless sun. The once lush landscape turned brown and dry, and the villagers grew anxious. Without water, their crops couldn't grow, and their livestock suffered. The level of Crystal Lake began to drop, and the villagers feared that their beloved lake might dry up completely. Determined to help, Clara decided to visit Old Man Rivers, the village elder and keeper of the lake's history. He lived in a small, weathered cabin on the far side of the lake, and the villagers often sought his wisdom in times of trouble. "Old Man Rivers," Clara said as she approached his cabin, "Crystal Lake is drying up, and the village is in trouble. Is there anything we can do to save it?" The old man looked at Clara with kind, wise eyes. "Clara, the lake has always been a source of life for our village. There is a legend that says the lake is protected by a magical spirit. If we can find and awaken this spirit, it may help us restore the water." Clara listened intently, her heart filled with hope. "How do we find the spirit?" Old Man Rivers handed her an ancient map. "Follow this map to the hidden cave at the northern edge of the lake. Inside, you will find the entrance to the spirit's sanctuary. But be careful, the journey is not without its challenges." Clara thanked Old Man Rivers and set off on her quest. She followed the map through dense forests and rocky terrain, her determination unwavering. After several hours, she reached the entrance to the hidden cave. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside, her lantern casting flickering shadows on the walls. The cave was dark and damp, with the sound of dripping water echoing around her. Clara carefully navigated the winding passages until she reached a large chamber. In the center of the chamber was a sparkling pool of water, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from above. Clara approached the pool and saw a small, glowing figure within it, a water spirit, shimmering with an ethereal light. "Who enters my sanctuary?" the spirit asked, its voice like the gentle flow of a stream. "My name is Clara," she replied, her voice steady despite her awe. "Our village is suffering from a drought, and Crystal Lake is drying up. We need your help to restore the water and save our home." The spirit gazed at Clara with understanding. "The lake and the land are connected, and the balance has been disrupted. To restore the water, you must complete 3 tasks: find the tear of the sky, the root of the earth, and the breath of the wind. Bring them to me, and I will use their power to revive the lake." Clara nodded, determined to succeed. She left the cave and began her search for the 3 elements. Her first task was to find the tear of the sky. She climbed the tallest hill in Rivertown and waited for nightfall. As she gazed at the starry sky, a shooting star streaked across the heavens. Clara closed her eyes and made a wish, and when she opened them, she found a small, crystal-clear drop of water in her hand, the tear of the sky. Next, Clara set out to find the root of the earth. She remembered a legend about an ancient tree deep in the forest, said to be the source of all life. After a long and arduous journey, she found the tree, its roots stretching deep into the ground. She gently dug at the base of the tree and uncovered a small, glowing root, the root of the earth. Finally, Clara needed to find the breath of the wind. She climbed to the highest peak in the village and stood at the edge, feeling the wind whip around her. She took a deep breath, and as she exhaled, she felt the wind gather around her, filling a small, empty vial she carried, the breath of the wind. With all 3 elements in hand, Clara returned to the cave. The water spirit awaited her by the sparkling pool. "You have done well, Clara," the spirit said, taking the elements from her. "Now, watch as I restore the balance." The spirit combined the tear of the sky, the root of the earth, and the breath of the wind, and a brilliant light filled the chamber. The water in the pool surged with life, and the spirit channeled its power into Crystal Lake. Back in Rivertown, the villagers watched in amazement as the lake's water level began to rise. The streams flowed once more, and the fields and gardens sprang back to life. The drought was over, and the village was saved. Clara returned to the village as a hero, her bravery and determination praised by all. She learned that hope and perseverance could overcome even the greatest challenges, and her actions restored not only the lake but also the spirit of the village. The story of Clara and the magic of Crystal Lake became a cherished legend in Rivertown, reminding everyone of the power of hope, courage, and the natural world's wonders. Through her quest, Clara showed that even the smallest person could make a big difference, and the light of hope would always shine in their hearts.